a new beginning. The next day, the apartment is quiet. The woman sits by the window, staring out at the city. The light is soft, almost soothing, as if offering a fresh start. Ethan plays on the floor, completely oblivious to the chaos that has surrounded him. Adrian walks into the room holding 2 cups of coffee. He hands one to the woman and sits beside her, his presence warm and comforting. Adrian, softly, almost as a whisper, "We've been through so much, but we're finally here, together." She takes the cup, her fingers brushing his as she holds it. She feels the weight of the last few weeks pressing down on her, but there's a sense of relief in knowing that she's no longer alone. Adrian has been her rock, and now she can start to believe in the possibility of a peaceful future. I never thought I'd make it through all of this. I thought I'd lose myself along the way. Adrian's eyes soften as he looks at her, and he gently takes her hand. "You're stronger than you think. You've been through things no one should ever have to face, but you're still here, standing tall, and that's why I love you." Her heart skips a beat at his words, and she smiles, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. She leans into him, feeling the warmth of his embrace surround her. Softly with a slight smile, "I love you too." They sit in silence for a moment, just enjoying the peace that has finally settled between them. Adrian then breaks the silence with a question that's been on his mind. "Adrian," with a quiet, serious tone, "are you ready to move on? I mean, I know it's been hard, but do you think we can start fresh?" She nods, her softening as she looks up at him, her eyes filled with a new sense of hope. "Yes, I think we can. We've been through the worst, and we're still here. Together, that's all I need." Ethan's laughter echoes from the other room, and the woman's gaze turns to him. The sight of her son, safe and happy, fills her with an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Softly to herself, "We're a family now, and nothing is going to tear us apart." The first date that evening, Adrian takes her out on their first real date. He's planned something special, and despite everything they've been through, there's an excitement in the air. The restaurant is intimate and cozy, the soft hum of conversation around them providing a perfect backdrop for their evening. Adrian pulls out her chair for her and smiles as she sits down. There's something different about tonight, something that feels both familiar and brand new. It's as though they're rediscovering each other for the first time, in a way that feels raw and honest. "I know we've been through a lot, but I want to start over with you. No more secrets, no more past, just us." Her heart swells as she meets his eyes, seeing the sincerity in his gaze. She reaches across the table, taking his hand. "I want that too. I want to build something real with you, Adrian." The waiter comes to take their order, but Adrian doesn't let go of her hand. He holds it gently, his thumb tracing small circles on her skin. She feels safe, seen, and cherished in a way she never thought was possible. Adrian, with a teasing grin, "And maybe, when we're ready, we can talk about more than just the past." She laughs softly, shaking her head. Her wink, "I think that sounds like a good plan." The trust rebuilt. As the weeks go by, the woman and Adrian continue to heal together. They make time for quiet moments, for deep conversations, and for building a life together. Adrian is patient, understanding, and gentle, allowing her to set the pace while showing her the love and support she never thought she'd receive. One afternoon, they sit together on the couch in Adrian's apartment. Ethan is playing nearby, and the atmosphere is calm, comfortable. The woman leans her head on Adrian's shoulder, a soft sigh escaping her lips. "I never thought I'd trust anyone, and again after everything. But you've shown me that trust doesn't have to be a lost cause." "Adrian," his voice filled with emotion, "I'll never betray that trust. You and Ethan are my family now. I'll do whatever it takes to keep you safe and happy." She lifts her head, meeting his gaze. There's so much love in his eyes, so much sincerity, that it makes her heart race. "I believe you." And in that moment, she feels something shift deep inside of her, a sense of peace, of trust, of hope for the future. The proposal. It's been a few months since their first date, and Adrian has been planning the perfect moment. He's taken care of everything, ensuring that the woman feels loved and cherished in every way possible. Tonight, he has something special prepared. They're out at a beautiful rooftop restaurant, the city lights twinkling around them. The air is crisp, the perfect setting for what Adrian is about to do. As they finish dinner, Adrian stands up, taking her hand. She looks up at him, her heart pounding in her chest, sensing that something significant is about to happen. Adrian, I've been thinking a lot about us, about how far we've come, about everything we've been through together, and I've realized that I don't want to spend another day without you. You and Ethan, you are my world. The woman's breath catches in her throat as Adrian gets down on one knee, pulling out a small velvet box. Adrian, with a tender smile, will you marry me? Will you be the love of my life forever? Tears fill her eyes as she looks at him, her heart overflowing with emotion. She never thought she could experience such love, such acceptance. And yet, here he is, offering her the future she never dreamed she could have. Her, through tears, yes, yes, I will. Adrian stands, pulling her into his arms as they embrace, their hearts beating in unison. The moment is perfect, filled with the promise of a beautiful future together. The honeymoon. In a tropical paradise, where the couple has just arrived for their honeymoon, the ocean waves crash gently on the shore as they walk hand in hand along the beach, the sun setting behind them, casting a warm golden glow over everything. As they stop at the water's edge, Adrian pulls her close, brushing a strand of hair from her face. We made it. Together, and now we get to start a whole new chapter of our lives. She smiles, her eyes sparkling with happiness and love. I never thought this day would come, but I'm so glad it did. I'm so happy, Adrian. They share a tender kiss as the camera pulls back, showing them walking into their future, side by side as a family. A night of intimacy and healing. The day had been magical, sun-kissed beaches, shared laughter, and the simple joy of being together. As they return to their suite, the warm glow of candlelight fills the room. The ocean breeze carries the faint scent of salt and flowers, mingling with the soft sound of waves outside. She steps onto the balcony, gazing out at the moonlit sea. Adrian watches her from the doorway, his heart full as he takes in the sight of her, serene, beautiful, and his. Adrian, walking up behind her, you take my breath away, you know that? She turns to face him, her lips curling into a shy smile. You're just saying that because it's our honeymoon. He chuckles, closing the distance between them and cupping her face gently in his hands. No, I'm saying it because it's true. Every moment with you feels like a dream I don't want to wake up from. Her eyes well up slightly, the sincerity in his voice touching a place deep within her. Her softly, you always know what to say. Adrian leans in, his lips brushing against hers in a kiss that starts tender but quickly deepens, full of passion and unspoken promises. She melts into him, her hands resting on his chest, feeling the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. He pulls back slightly, his forehead resting against hers. You don't have to be afraid with me. I'll always be here to protect you, to love you. Her breath hitches and she nods, overwhelmed by the depth of his words. She lets him guide her back inside, the warmth of his hands grounding her as they move in sync, the world outside fading away. The scene shifts gently as they share a quiet, intimate moment, their movements filled with tenderness and care. Each touch, each glance is a silent affirmation of their love and trust. For her, it's a moment of reclaiming herself, a step toward healing from the pain of her past. For him, it's about showing her that love can be gentle, patient, and unconditional. As the night stretches on, they lie tangled together, their breathing slowing in unison. The weight of their journey and the joy of their new life settle around them. Her, whispering, tracing circles on his chest. I never thought I'd feel this safe or this loved. Adrian, you deserve all of it and more. I'll spend my life proving that to you. A morning of new beginnings. The next morning, sunlight streams through the windows, bathing the room in a golden glow. She wakes to find Adrian already watching her, his hand brushing softly against her cheek. Adrian. Good morning, Mrs. Donovan. Sleep well? She laughs, her heart light, as she stretches beside him. Her best sleep I've had in years. I wonder why. Adrian chuckles, pulling her close. Maybe it's because you're finally stuck with me. They share a laugh, their joy filling the room. It's a simple moment, but one that speaks volumes about the life they've built together. A life rooted in love, trust, and mutual respect. The calm before the storm, the childhood friend returns. Adrian is reviewing plans for a new project in his office when his secretary informs him of a visitor. Secretary, "Sir, Bianca Velasco is here to see you. She says she's an old friend." Adrian looks up in surprise. The name triggers memories of summer afternoons spent playing in his family's garden, laughing with a bright-eyed girl who always tried to keep up with him. "Bianca, send her in." Bianca enters, her confidence radiant. Her polished demeanor contrasts sharply with the carefree girl he remembers, but her smile still holds a flicker of that same familiar warmth. "Adrian Donovan, it's been forever." "Bianca, this is unexpected." Bianca, ignoring the handshake, pulling him into a hug. "Unexpected? Come on, we were inseparable as kids. Don't tell me you've forgotten me already." Adrian chuckles, stepping back and gesturing for her to sit. "I could never forget you, Bianca, but it has been a long time. What brings you here?" "Does it matter? I had to see my childhood best friend. Besides, I heard you've built quite the empire." Adrian nods, keeping the conversation light. He doesn't notice the way her eyes linger on him, the faint glint of something more than friendship in her gaze, stirring old feelings. Over the following weeks, Bianca starts appearing more frequently in Adrian's life. She joins charity events Adrian is involved in and makes subtle attempts to rekindle their childhood bond. One evening, she arrives at an art gala where Adrian and his wife are present. Bianca approaching Adrian. "Adrian, I didn't know you'd be here." Adrian, smiling politely. "Bianca, this is my wife." Bianca turns to his wife with a practiced smile, but there's a subtle coolness in her tone. "Bianca, so you're the lucky woman who captured Adrian's heart. It's nice to meet you." Her. "Nice to meet you too, Bianca. Adrian's told me a lot about his childhood." "Oh, I'm sure he hasn't told you everything." The comment leaves her feeling uneasy, but Adrian places a reassuring hand on her back, guiding her away from the conversation. Seeds of doubt. Later that night, as they prepare for bed, she confronts Adrian. "Bianca seems close to you. Has she always been like that? We were friends as kids, but we grew apart. I don't think there's anything to worry about." Her. "Are you sure? The way she looks at you, it's like she still has feelings for you." Adrian pauses, his brow furrowing. "Even if she does, it doesn't matter. I'm married to you. Bianca is just a friend, nothing more." She nods, but the unease in her chest doesn't fade. Bianca's intentions become clear. One afternoon, Bianca invites Adrian to lunch under the pretense of discussing a charity project. Instead, the conversation takes a personal turn. "Bianca, do you remember how we used to climb that old oak tree behind your house? You always helped me up, even though I was terrified of heights." "I remember. You cried every time, but you still insisted on climbing it." "Bianca, you've always been there for me, Adrian. You were my first love, you know." Adrian stiffens, the atmosphere suddenly charged. "Bianca, I'm married now. I can't." I know, but it doesn't change how I feel. We were meant to be, Adrian. I let you go once, and I won't make that mistake again." Adrian stands, his voice firm. "I'm sorry, Bianca. That part of my life is over. I'm happy with my wife and son, and nothing will change that." Bianca watches him leave, her expression darkening. Determination flashes in her eyes. Bianca to herself, "We'll see about that, Adrian." Tensions rise at home. Its continued presence begins to strain Adrian's marriage. One evening, she finds an invitation to a gala addressed to Adrian and Bianca with no mention of her. Her, holding the envelope. "Adrian, care to explain this?" Adrian frowns, taking the invitation and reading it. "Adrian, this has to be a mistake. I'll talk to the organizers tomorrow." Her. "A mistake? Or maybe she's making her intentions very clear." Adrian sighs, reaching for her. "Don't let her get to you. You and Ethan are my world. Bianca can't change that." "Then why does it feel like she's winning?" Adrian pulls her into his arms, kissing her forehead. "She's not. I promise you, she's not." Bianca's hidden agenda. Bianca starts maneuvering her way into Adrian's business dealings, using her connections to secure a joint venture with his company. This forces Adrian to work closely with her, something she exploits at every opportunity. One afternoon, Bianca invites him to her office to discuss the project. Bianca, hailing as Adrian enters. Punctual as always. I've missed that about you. Adrian, ignoring her flirtation. Let's stick to the agenda, Bianca. What's this meeting about? Bianca pouts but slides a document across her desk. We're finalizing the sponsorships for the charity gala. I was thinking we should present together, like the power duo we used to be. Bianca, I told you before, my wife and I are a team. If there's a presentation to be made, she'll be by my side. Bianca's smile falters, but she quickly recovers, her eyes narrowing slightly. Of course, I wouldn't dream of replacing her, but you and I both know she doesn't understand this world like we do. Adrian's expression hardens. Adrian, this conversation is over. If you can't respect my boundaries, this partnership ends here. Bianca watches him leave, her fists clenched. Her jealousy grows, fueling her determination to drive a wedge between Adrian and his wife. Emotional turmoil at home. At home, she continues to feel the weight of Bianca's interference. She begins to withdraw, her emotions heightened by her pregnancy, though she hasn't told Adrian yet. One evening, Adrian finds her sitting on the couch, staring at a framed photo of their family. Adrian, sitting her, "You've been quiet lately. What's going on?" She hesitates, unsure how to explain the storm of emotions swirling inside her. I feel like I'm not enough for you. Bianca is everywhere, and I can't compete with her." Adrian takes her hands in his voice steady and reassuring. "Adrian, you don't have to compete with anyone. Bianca is part of my past. You, Ethan, and this family are my present and future." Her eyes well up with tears, but before she can respond, she feels a sudden wave of nausea. She rushes to the bathroom, leaving Adrian confused. The pregnancy reveal. The next morning, she decides it's time to tell Adrian about the pregnancy. She's nervous, unsure how he'll react given the tension Bianca has caused. Adrian is sitting at the kitchen table, sipping his coffee when she approaches him. "Adrian, can we talk?" Adrian down his cup. "Of course. What's on your mind?" She takes a deep breath, her hands trembling slightly. "I've been feeling off lately, and I finally figured out why. I'm pregnant, and it's twins." Adrian stares at her, his expression a mix of shock and joy. "Twins? We're having twins?" She nods, tears streaming down her face. "I was scared to tell you. With everything going on, I didn't want to add more stress." Adrian pulls her into his arms, holding her tightly. "Adrian, this isn't stress. It's the best news I've ever heard. You, me, Ethan, and our twins. Nothing and no one can come between us." Bianca's manipulation escalates. Meanwhile, Bianca learns about the pregnancy through a mutual acquaintance. Furious and desperate, she decides to escalate her schemes. She leaks a fabricated story to the media, painting Adrian's wife as a gold digger who trapped him with a child. The headlines spread quickly. Adrian Donovan's wife, a calculated move or true love. Social media erupts with criticism, and she becomes the target of harsh comments and online harassment, her breaking down at home. "Why are they saying these things about me? I've never done anything to deserve this." Adrian clenches his fist, his anger simmering as he pulls her into his arms. "Adrian, this stops now. I'll find out who's behind this, and I'll make them regret it." Confronting Bianca, Adrian confronts Bianca at her office, his fury barely contained. Adrian, slamming a newspaper onto her desk. "This is your doing, isn't it? You crossed the line, Bianca." Bianca feigns innocence, her tone dripping with sweetness. "Adrian, you're accusing me without proof. Why would I ever do something like this?" Adrian, leaning closer, his voice low and threatening. "Because you can't stand the fact that I've moved on. But hear me clearly. If you come after my family again, I'll destroy everything you've worked for. Stay away." Bianca's smile fades as she realizes Adrian is serious. But instead of backing down, her obsession deepens. She vows to make his wife's life miserable until Adrian sees her as his only option. Bianca's new scheme, planting doubts. Bianca devises a new plan to sabotage Adrian's marriage by targeting his wife's insecurities. She hires a private investigator to fabricate evidence of Adrian spending suspicious amounts of time with her, twisting their professional interactions into something more intimate. Bianca then anonymously sends photos of her and Adrian together to his wife, with a typed note. "Note, you deserved to know the truth about your husband. He's been spending time with someone who truly understands him. When Adrian's wife receives the envelope, she sits frozen, staring at the photos of Adrian and Bianca at a lunch meeting. Although the images are innocent, the angles make them look intimate. Her mind spirals into doubt. Her mutter herself, is this why she's always around him? Am I blind to what's happening right in front of me? The confrontation that evening, when Adrian returns home, she's distant and withdrawn. After dinner, she finally confronts him, holding up the photos. Her care to explain these. Adrian looks at the photos, confusion turning to frustration as he realizes what's happening. Adrian, this is a setup. Bianca's been trying to get between us, and now she's pulling this. But why would someone go this far unless there was some truth to it? You promised me there was nothing between you two. Adrian moves closer, his voice firm but soft. Adrian, there's nothing. She's desperate, and she knows how to manipulate people. You have to trust me. Her. I want to, Adrian, but it's hard when she's always there, always finding a way to insert herself into our lives. Adrian holds her hands, his gaze unwavering. She doesn't matter. You and our family are all that matter. I'll handle Bianca, I promise. Bianca plays the victim. The next day, Adrian confronts Bianca at a charity board meeting. He waits until the meeting ends, then pulls her aside into an empty hallway. Adrian, what the hell do you think you're doing, Bianca? Sending fake photos to my wife? Are you out of your mind? Bianca feigns innocence, tears brimming in her eyes. Fake? Is that what you think of me? I thought we were friends, Adrian. I thought we had a connection. Adrian. Whatever you think we had, it's in the past. Stop this, or you'll leave me no choice but to sever all ties with you, for good. Bianca's expression hardens, her crocodile tears vanishing. Sever ties? Adrian, we're business partners now. I'm not going anywhere. And if you think you can just walk away from me, you're mistaken. Adrian's jaw tightens, but he doesn't respond. He storms out, determined to protect his family from her schemes. Bianca's smear campaign. Bianca escalates her attack by leaking a false story to the press, claiming she and Adrian had an affair during their business collaboration. The tabloids are filled with headlines like, "Billionaire Adrian Donovan and his childhood friend, a secret romance?" The story spreads like wildfire, leading to social media backlash against Adrian and his wife. Adrian immediately calls his PR team to release a statement denying the rumors, but the damage is done. At home, his wife is overwhelmed by the public scrutiny. She avoids leaving the house and stops attending public events with Adrian. I can't do this, Adrian. Everyone thinks I'm some naive woman holding on to a man who doesn't love me. Adrian, that's not true. I love you more than anything, and I'll prove it. Bianca won't win. Adrian's counterattack. Determined to end Bianca's reign of terror, Adrian hires his own investigator to uncover her dirty secrets. Within days, the investigator uncovers evidence of Bianca's involvement in fabricating the photos and leaking false stories to the media. Adrian uses this evidence to publicly expose her during a high-profile event. At the charity gala, Adrian takes the stage to address the audience. Adrian, before we begin tonight's event, I want to address the recent rumors about my family. Someone has been spreading lies in an attempt to harm my marriage and reputation. I have proof of these malicious actions, and I won't stand for it. He displays screenshots of the fabricated emails and photos, along with evidence linking them to Bianca. The room erupts in whispers as Bianca, seated at a nearby table, pales. Bianca to herself, this isn't over, Adrian. The aftermath, Adrian's public denouncement of Bianca earns him sympathy and support, while Bianca's reputation crumbles. She's removed from the charity board and blacklisted from several elite circles. Meanwhile, Adrian focuses on rebuilding his wife's confidence and repairing their relationship. One evening, he surprises her with a romantic dinner at home. Adrian, I know it's been hard lately, but I want you to know how much I appreciate your strength. You've been through so much, and I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. She smiles, her hand resting on her growing belly. I believe you, Adrian. As long as we're together, we can get through anything. Family bonding. Adrian takes time off from his demanding work schedule to focus on his family. One Saturday, he organizes a surprise picnic for his wife and Ethan at a secluded, serene lakeside spot. They sit together on a blanket under a large oak tree as Ethan plays with his toys. Adrian feeding her a piece of fruit. You deserve to smile more. No more worrying about the past. It's just us now. She leans into him, her fingers brushing against his cheek. I never thought I'd find this kind of peace. Thank you for fighting for us, Adrian. Ethan runs over, holding a small bouquet of wildflowers. Mommy, Daddy, these are for you. Adrian scoops Ethan up into his arms, kissing the boy's cheek. You're the best little man, you know that? This is perfect. Adrian's leadership. Back at work, Adrian focuses on expanding his company after the fallout with Bianca's sabotage. He holds a meeting with his team to discuss a new project, a luxury residential development designed to provide affordable housing to families. Adrian, to his team, this isn't just about profit. It's about giving back, creating something meaningful. Let's make this our legacy. His employees respond enthusiastically, inspired by his vision. Adrian's leadership becomes stronger, and the company's reputation rebounds, earning accolades from the business community, rekindling their love. Adrian surprises her with a weekend getaway to a secluded villa in the mountains. The atmosphere is cozy, with warm lighting and a roaring fireplace. As they sit on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, sipping wine, Adrian leans in closer. You're the most incredible woman I've ever met. You've given me a family, a purpose, and so much love. I want to give you the world in return. She smiles, her hand resting on his chest. You're off to a good start, Mr. Donovan. Ethan's school project. A proud moment. Ethan's school holds a family day event where children present projects about their families. Ethan eagerly shares his drawing of his family, a colorful picture of himself, his mom, Adrian, and 2 tiny figures labeled babies. Ethan, this is my family. My daddy is a superhero, my mommy is the best cook, and I'm going to be a big brother soon. The audience claps, and Adrian and his wife beam with pride. They share a tender look, their hearts full of love for their son. A joyful arrival. The day finally arrives. At the hospital, Adrian is by her side, holding her hand as she delivers their twins, a boy and a girl. The room is filled with tears of joy as the babies are placed in their parents' arms. Adrian, emotional, they're perfect. Just like you. We made a beautiful family, Adrian. Ethan peeks into the room with his grandparents, excited to meet his siblings. Can I hold them, Daddy? Adrian helps him gently hold his baby sister, and the family shares a moment of pure bliss. Moving forward, with the twins now part of their lives, Adrian decides to build a new home, a sprawling yet cozy estate designed to suit their growing family. The house includes a playroom for the kids, a library for her, and a home office for Adrian. Walking through the house, it's everything I've ever dreamed of. Thank you, Adrian. It's not just a house, it's our home, for all of us. The proposal. A heartfelt question. One evening, while the kids are asleep, Adrian takes her to the garden, where fairy lights twinkle in the night. He gets down on one knee, holding out a diamond ring. Adrian, you've stood by me through everything. You've given me a family, love, and hope. I want to spend every day of my life making you happy. Will you marry me? Her hands fly to her mouth as tears stream down her face. Yes, Adrian. 1,000 times yes. He slips the ring onto her finger, sealing the moment with a passionate kiss. The wedding, a beautiful ceremony. Their wedding takes place in a breathtaking outdoor venue surrounded by family and friends. She walks down the aisle in a flowing white gown, her smile radiant as Adrian waits for her at the altar. Adrian, as she reaches him, you're more beautiful than I could have ever imagined, and you're everything I've ever wanted. They exchange heartfelt vows, promising to cherish and support each other for the rest of their lives. The ceremony ends with a kiss, and the crowd erupts in applause. A family celebration, unity and joy. The reception is a lively celebration of love and family. Ethan proudly introduces his siblings to everyone, while Adrian dances with his bride under the stars. Adrian, whispering in her, this is just the beginning of our happily ever after. With you, I know we'll always find our way. A bright future. Love and legacy. Months later, Adrian's housing project is completed, earning praise for its innovative design and community impact. At the ribbon-cutting ceremony, he credits his wife for inspiring him to create something meaningful. Adrian, my family is my greatest motivation. They remind me every day that love, compassion, and unity can change the world. Back home, the couple sits on the porch watching their children play in the yard. Adrian wraps his arm around her, kissing her temple. We've built something beautiful together, a family, a life, a legacy. And it's only the beginning. The end.
Chapter 2. The final sequence. As the story of Whispers of Destiny reaches its heartfelt conclusion, we thank you for being part of this journey. The tale may end here, but its lessons and memories linger forever. Subscribe to Tales of the Moonlight to discover more captivating stories that inspire and enchant. Together, let's continue exploring the beauty of life's unexpected paths. Thank you for watching and being a part of this magical adventure.